Mr. Milton, you're up next.
Oh, good. I have heard several comments about Common Core. Some good, some not so good. The comments that are in favor of Common Core say that it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. They are long on platitudes and short on substance. The voices that are against Common Core seem to feel that it is a federal takeover of the educational system, that one size fits all. Our state has had educational standards for a long time. It's not really that difficult for us to maintain those standards. We don't need somebody from outside of our state saying what the standards are. Are our standards higher than other states? They could be. Are they lower than other states? They could be. They need to be adjusted personally for our state up. We don't need to conform to a mediocre standard that everybody can pass. That's not the idea of education. It's to teach everybody to get along in their life, whether their life be working in a factory or a PhD in a science project. Thank you for your time.
I have one problem with Common Core. It's common. I think that competitive is great. That's what America's been founded on. We are competitive people. We have our free market, which is competitive. We need to keep our states competitive. We need to keep our schools competitive. I agree we should, yes, have these standards to reach and get to them. But what says that we have to be here at the Common Core standards? Why can't we just be here? Oh, there's state and federal grant money that says we need to be here. DLAM says we are going to be in the strategic plan, says we need to meet the Common Core standards here. I say let's go here, not to just be common. Let's be above common. And you know, we hear a lot of things, well, this is what they're teaching in Florida, this is what they're teaching in Orange County. Let's look at our curriculum here and say what is being taught here. You know, we need to know what is being taught in our history classes. We need to know what is being taught in our math classes. We need to look really into our local area. And we can't just, you know, go around crazy going, that's what they're doing over there. We need to see it here, which means we need to have the curriculum open and ready and accessible to parents, not just during the regular business hours because there are parents working during business hours. We need to have that curriculum available where we need to have the one-on-one conversation again with the parents, not just at the elementary level, but back to the junior high and high school when we had parent-teacher conferences. We need to have open house again where we can ask those parents, what are you teaching to my child? What am my child's going to be learning? And then also, of course, knowing what's going on in the test, because that's the most important part. What are the questions being asked? What are we expected to do? And what is my child going to be learning this time?
Common Core, a lot of misinformation. I believe that Common Core is a good thing. It is a higher standard. California, if you start and look where we rate globally, we used to be 1, 2, or 3. Now we're like 22, 27, and that's not okay. The standards are that. They're standards. They're definitely higher than our current, or our California standards were. We used to have the California state standards, and there was this many. There was a ton of them. And they were common, kind of mediocre. The Common Core standards are a much higher, a much more rigorous standard, a more thinking standard, and it's making us teach the kids differently. One thing you hear a lot when Common Core was rolled out is that it was too hard for a lot of these school districts and it's too much for our kids. Well, I don't think we can ever give our kids too much push or try to make them learn at a deeper level. One thing that's great about Del Norte County is we did focus on what we want our kids to learn here. And we started implementing that 3 years ago. started looking at how we're going to teach them differently, how we're going to look at our curriculum differently. We've given the teachers the opportunity to go outside the box and to use different curriculum. California used to say, here's your book, use it, teach it. With Common Core and with the DNL, the teachers have been able to look out and get different curriculum and look at different ways of teaching our children so that we can reach a higher standard with our students.
Thank you. Okay, we will start with you, Angela, on this one. Last year, school councils were directed by the district to question students regarding family dynamics, including whether there are guns in the home, adequate nutrition, etc. Parents are unaware of this counseling. What is your opinion of the parents' right to opt out to objectionable curriculum, questioning, or testing?
A little softer than I understood them to be. From the question I was given, I was understanding they were asking about firearms and or some of your personal life. And I'm absolutely against that. I think you should be able to keep that to yourselves and to your family. Even if the answers were unidentified, which I doubt, the gathering of confidential information for our children is absolutely wrong. How do parents find out about what the curriculum is? I understand the average graduating student has an English score of somewhere around 1100. The minimum score for Cal State colleges is 1300. That means that most of our students, and I think it's about 70%, have to take remedial English or math in order to get into Cal State. You need to know that as parents and jack up the school board to see that they get the classes that they need to get on to college or to get on to life, whatever that is. Thank you.
My information is pretty much the same as Lori's. This refers to a survey that was sent out, and parents of 2 or 3 schools got the opt-out letter, and one didn't, and the counselor who didn't send that out is gone for other reasons. And I also understand that there were no questions about firearms. Whatever the details, I fully support parental notification and the right of parents to opt out of curriculum they find objectionable. I would also like to address counseling. I have been a school counselor. I know a little bit about it, and I've kind of involved myself in the operation of the school counseling in the district. There are actually 3 kinds of counselors. Somebody mentioned 2. There's social, emotional, psychological, and academic. The academic is pretty straightforward. They help kids plan their schedules. Social emotional is what school counselors do. Psychological deals with more deep-seated issues. Social emotional counseling that happens in the schools does not generally delve into these deep issues. And my preference, obviously there is some overlap, but generally speaking, when those issues come up, I think the best policy is to refer out to people who are trained and able to deal with those things. What school counselors are specifically tasked with doing is assisting young people in adjustment to the school environment. And the other thing that I would like to say is that I find it crucial, and I have always found it crucial, to involve parents in any kind of counseling I was doing. I used to be told that the parents weren't interested or they wouldn't do it, and I have never found that to be the case, with very rare exceptions. Parents, even parents who are doing it poorly, love their kids and just want the help. And high-skilled people can be in the same boat of having difficulty with parenting too. So I think that giving people the opportunity to access services is really crucial.